I don't know what's worse, the fact that you tried to colonize Bantu knots, or the fact that you just straight up look like you stuck a fork in an electrical socket.
Oh, so fabulous.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel once again. It's your girl Dumebi Leah. If this is your first time coming across my channel, you're welcome. I do hope you decide to subscribe, and if you are a returning subscriber, you guys know that I love you. It's so good to have you here. Welcome back. So before we get into today's video, I just want to drop my usual disclaimer. This video is strictly for educational purposes. Please do not go searching out the people that I talk about in this video. Do not send them any form of threats, hate comment, or violence. This channel does not support any of that. So today we're going to be talking about this palm colored lady who tried a black hairstyle and woefully failed at it. Let me go right and play her video.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch of tiny little twist buns, hoping to have tiny curls today. And I sprayed them down with water and everything as I was combing them. And so we're going to take those out today and see how they turned out. This is going to take forever. I am speechless. I'm going to have to take the rest out off camera. This just ruined any desire to ever want to perm my short hair.
You guys see, she tried doing that hairstyle and it did not turn out well on her hair, and obviously she was disappointed, and she said she was never going to try to do perms on her short hair because she didn't like the result, and she felt short hair with curls was not her thing because of how that turned out. But did you guys notice that she renamed that hairstyle? Anybody that is black knows that that hairstyle is called Bantu knots. Obviously she must have seen it on someone on the internet or whatever, and you can't go researching that particular hairstyle and how to make it and not know that it has a name, an existing name already, which is Bantu knot. But she chose to refer to the hairstyle as tiny little twist buns. Anyway, before I talk too much, let me just play some stitches and reactions to her video.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch.
To say I am disgusted is such an understatement. You don't even know the name of the style that you put in your head. I am so done with the blatant ignorance of a lot of you bitches, and I hope your entire scalp blisters.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch of tiny.
Listen up. Did y'all not learn from this lady? Huh, right here. Right up yonder. And none of you ever do it right. It always fail. It don't matter. Y'all even out here stressing the little babies out trying to do this stuff. It's not for y'all. If you want curly hair, you get you a wand, not a wanda. Okay, you get you a wand, not a wand. That right there, that was a wanda. You get you a wand, and then you can get you some curls.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch.
Okay, I'm going to start off by saying that, one, no hate to this creator. I'm going to plead ignorance on her behalf. They're called Bantu knots, you know, not space buns, Bantu knots, because I know someone will say that. And this is a prime example of why we say a hairstyle is a black hairstyle, because it's intended for Afro textured hair. For example, I'm laying on my couch with a silk lined hat, because I don't want it to rub against the velvet. It will snag on my hair, so I wear protective cap because I have Afro textured hair, right? So that hairstyle in this example of something that will probably only really work for someone who has Afro textured hair. So that's somewhere between the 3s and 4s, maybe a late 2, maybe 2C, but not even going into hair typing. It's more about the actual texture of your hair. If you don't have the texture, it's just not going to work. And I find it funny that every single time a black person or a person with Afro textured hair tell someone else who doesn't have this kind of texture that it's going to be really difficult for them to have this hairstyle or to maintain it or to maintain their actual hair, that it's taken as a slight. So now you're sitting up there looking electrocuted with hair that's probably a little damaged from that hairstyle and wondering where you went wrong. You went wrong by not having the right texture for that hairstyle.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch of tiny little twist buns.
You see a blood clot face look like a twist bun. It's called Bantu knots. Lift up, man. Bumbo clot.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch of tiny little twist buns.
Tiny little twist buns. Okay, let me not play. We know that you know that they're Bantu knots at this point. I've seen people stitch you and tell you, and you're in their comment section thanking them for the education. Okay, as a white person, let me tell you something. Don't do that again. Not because anybody thinks you're being disrespectful, because the way your hair came out at the end, just braid your hair. See if you can get somebody to do some little French braids, Dutch braids, whatever they're called, and that'll help with some curls. If you want teeny tiny little curls, smaller braids, I don't know, but don't do Bantu knots again.
Last night I put my hair in a bunch of tiny little twist buns, hoping.
If you're going to wear our hairstyles, stop rebranding it and renaming it as your own. Twist buns? They are called Bantu knots. And then you wonder why there is so much resentment from the Black community. You embed yourself into the culture of other people, and then you suck it dry after whitewashing it and making it your own. We are tired of it. There's nothing wrong with wearing Bantu knots or whatever the fuck you want. But stop rebranding our culture. Come on!
The rest out off camera.
Those are knots, babe. You could have used, I don't know, curlers if you wanted curls in your hair. But that's what your ass get for doing that shit on Black History Month.
Last night I put my hair in a bunch of tiny little twist buns.
Yeah, those aren't twisty buns, love. Yeah, those are Bantu knots. What you did to your hair is put them in Bantu knots. Your hair is too brittle for that. Yeah. It's for Black people of melanated nature, coarse hair. It's a protective hairstyle. Yeah. You tried it, it fucked your hair up. So don't do it anymore. Yeah? Okay. Whew. Glad we had that talk, yeah? I feel much better. But I think you need to owe your hair an apology. Because that looked like it hurt to go through that, to put it through that. Yeah. There's a whole plethora of hairstyles for you to choose from. Stop stealing our shit.
So last night I put my hair in a bunch.
Long story short, she put Bantu knots in her hair when she shouldn't have. Now she looks like Bob Ross.
So you guys have heard what people had to say. A lot of people, Black people, are not really happy about the fact that she tried a Black hairstyle and tried to rename it. Now, from my own perspective as a Black person living in another part of the world, I didn't really used to understand the outrage that Black women had when non-Black women tried Black hairstyles. I didn't used to understand what cultural appropriation was and why Black women did not like non-Black women wearing Black or African hairstyles. Now I understand better. Speaking from the perspective of an African woman living in Africa, and I like to think a lot of other African people think this way, when white people visit Africa and they try to, participate in the culture, maybe doing African hairstyles, wearing the African attire, putting on the gele, which is, you know, a Nigerian headgear, eating our food and stuff like that. We're usually excited to even share these parts of our culture with them. Some people don't even care if you want to be a white girl that wants to get your hair braided and all that. We don't really think much of it. Some of us are even usually excited to share these parts of our culture with them because we usually view it as cultural appreciation. We feel that you like our culture enough to want to partake in it. Why it is different for us over here that there's no outrage is because when palm color people come over to our countries and maybe they try some of these African hairstyles, they're not coming to rename the hairstyle. Neither are they coming to claim that they originated it. Neither are they coming to make it look cool, in quote, because I found out that when black people do some certain things, it is considered ghetto, but when a white person does that exact thing, it is now considered cool, and it probably goes mainstream from there, and they end up not even giving credit to the fact that, okay, this is a black thing, this is something that I copied from black people. They might even go as far as renaming it, profiting from it, making money from it, while the original people who this belongs to doesn't even get to exploit and make money from this thing that is originally part of their culture. And the fact that black people have been put under those restrictions whereby they are being policed, black women are policed about their hair. You try to get a job, your hair must be straight, you can't wear your natural God-given hair a certain way so that you don't get looked at a certain way, so that you don't have restrictions and you can just blend in right with everybody. So I now started to understand that, oh wow, this is actually what our black sisters in the diaspora are going through, and that is unfair to anybody for a group of people to come and tell you that this hair that grows out of your scalp, the way it does, is not acceptable to them. You have to straighten it, you have to put a relaxer, you have to do this and that. And now I understand the outrage, and I'm right up there with you guys. I feel like if they're going to castigate black people over the same hairstyles and they don't think it's acceptable, they don't think it's professional enough, why do they see the need to copy these very hairstyles and even go the extra mile by renaming it and try to look like they came up with it or try to profit off of it? I definitely understand where the outrage of black women towards non-black people wearing these black hairstyles, I understand where it comes from. And speaking of which, I actually came across this interview that Michelle Obama made, and it just made everything make more sense. I was going to make a video about this topic then when I came about it, but I'm glad that I'm getting to talk about it now.
Cut the hair or take the loss.
Her look is being called a distraction.
The former First Lady, Michelle Obama, revealing that she considered wearing her natural hair and braids during her time at the White House, but decided that Americans weren't ready for her natural black hair. Listen to the former First Lady.
As black women, we deal with it. The whole thing about, do you show up with your natural hair? You know, braids, y'all. You know, but you know, as First Lady, I did not wear braids. Being the first black, I just we gotta ease up on the people. You know, just like, because I thought about it, I was like, it would be easier. Nope, they're not ready.
And the former First Lady says that she kept her hair straight so her husband's administration could focus on other issues and not her hair. The Obamas were very cognizant of how much attention was paid to how they looked and how they acted because they were black.
Wearing braids was a thing for people.
I didn't wear braids in the White House.
After,
but
no?
Even now, oh, well.
You returned, right? Now who cares?
Yeah, now.
But why did you not?
Well, because it was one of those things, like, I remember the second term when I cut bangs. That was every story. I mean, I couldn't even, I'm talking about nutrition, and the article leads with, but her bangs. Yeah. You know, so you realize, all right, it's a trade-off.
Distraction.
Do I want, while I understand it, do I want that distraction? And when do I want the distraction? It's a strategic move. And, you know, and also to be honest, it's like we were the first. And I was like, first of all, they got to get used to us.
Yeah, that's right.
Now I can show up with some braids, and now that's all we're talking about. I mean, that's when when we did a fist bump with each other, they turned that into a terror act, right? It's just like, insane. Who needs the hassle? Let me just straighten my hair and get healthcare pads.
I think for me, really, it was just a larger question of if Michelle Obama had natural hair, Barack Obama would not have won.
you can see she clearly said now that her husband is no longer the president, she gets to wear her braids and all of that. And it really rang a bell. Like, I was like, oh wow. She didn't want to bring that unnecessary attention where people will start to make videos about it, talk about, oh, we have a black family in the White House and now the woman is making a statement with her braids or with her afro or with her bantu knots. So she had to keep the hairstyle straight and acceptable to these people to make it more palatable. And I'm like, wow, really, black people have been shrinking themselves a lot just to fit into these places. You try to appear not too black just to make white people comfortable, and that's really sad. Like the fact that you cannot fully be yourself just so that you can be acceptable, so that you can climb some certain kind of ladders, maybe in the corporate world or whatever. You have to not be your full authentic self, and that is really sad. So I think all of this contributes to the outrage, and I understand now, and I fully understand why these reactions are like this. But anyway, speaking of this particular lady that tried this bantu knots, you guys, I will not lie, I felt some compassion for her. I felt sad for her because I could feel it was comic, I would not lie, that I laughed when I saw the reaction, and even when she put on the makeup, it didn't make any difference. I kind of laughed, but a part of me also felt bad for her. Like, girl, your arms must have been hurting, because I know you guys don't spend hours doing all of that on your hair like we do. Our hair takes more time to handle, our hair takes more care, our styles are complicated and beautiful and being passed down from generations. There's just a lot about black hair that you guys that are not black cannot begin to comprehend. So just stay in your lane. That is my advice to every non-black person. If you want to try because you appreciate it, you're not coming to steal it, you're not, policing black women about their hair, you just want to appreciate it. To me, okay, try it out, fine, but do not come and try to claim it or try to rename it or try to disrespect the very women that these hairstyles were made by and made for. That's all I'm going to say. So you guys, let me wrap up this video here. Let me know what you think in the comment section. What do you guys really think? What are your thoughts on black women who gatekeep black hairstyles? Black women speaking up about cultural appropriation and all of that, calling non-black people out for doing stuff like that. What are your thoughts? Do you think it shouldn't be that much of a big deal, like black people shouldn't go to the extent of calling them out and all of that? Or do you think they need to be called out, that this is something that we need to always speak up about? Please let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up as well. Subscribe if you haven't. Turn on notifications. That way YouTube is going to let you guys know whenever I have a new video up, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.